How do you build and manage a spa that has 6,500 square feet and 9 different service modalities? I don't know, but Tam and Terry sure do. And according to them, it's their managers, Katie and Terry, that are a huge part of it. So all 4 of them are joining today's episode. I'm excited to share this one with you. I think I wasn't here for it, so I got to listen in on it. And the crew, the rest of the podcast crew, was so excited to meet these guys. And by the end, we're like best friends. It's real sweet. So enjoy this episode and learn about managing all these different modalities. Before we get started, big shout out to HelmBot, this software that I love, that I think everybody in the float industry really loves. The thing I just asked them about, they have this awesome little feature where you can ask them a question anytime, night or day, and they get back to you super promptly. And I just wanted to know, I was revamping our website, and I wanted to be sure that when I have an LMT, a massage therapist bio, that they can book specifically with that practitioner right from the website, and just message them, and they immediately told me where I could find that link to do. And so now I'm rebuilding our website with direct links to our practitioners. It's just that easy. I love that. I love their service. I love that they have the features they have. Helmbot.com is where you want to go to check them out. And as I always say, don't take my word for it. Seriously, book a tour with them if you're not already using them. Book a tour, and they're people who will walk you through everything you need to know about the software and just make sure that it can do everything that you need it to do. It was built from the ground up for Float Center owners by Float Center owners, and now it does so much more, including for us, it's massage. But we've also done acupuncture classes. We've had acupuncture. We've done yoga classes as well, and we've really ran the gamut with all the different types of modalities we've had at our center. So Helm has been able to accommodate that, which I truly appreciate. Helmbot.com. Also, a big shout out to the FTA. Yes, my gosh. Best thing about the FTA for me currently are these live roundtables that they're hosting. Seems like monthly. I believe it's monthly. But the latest one, the powder keg method, it's like super hot topic in the float community and in the float collective. And Jonathan Rogue and Matthew Phillips walked us through it, and I showed up late. So I was like, wait, I understand a lot about it, but I don't understand the basic premise. Well, thankfully, it's all recorded. And if you're a member of the FTA, you can just go in and watch the recordings on your own time. It's perfect. So just one more reason that the FTA just stinking rocks. I love it. I really love the FTA. I think that you should become a member for the FTA, that you support the community that the FTA supports. So you support them, they support us, which includes opening new float centers and for us existing centers as well. Flotation.org is where you want to go to check out all that they offer, and of course to sign up to be a member, which the Float Shop certainly is, and I think has been for quite a few years now. Again, flotation.org is where you want to go. All right, let's join our friends here.
Welcome back to another episode of Art of the Float, where float centers thrive. My name is Drew. I am filling in for Dylan as the host tonight. I own New Hampshire Float in little old Londonderry, New Hampshire, and I have 2 services. I have 3 float tanks and 1 Pandora Star light meditation machine. Gloria, how many services do you have?
Thank you, Drew. I'm still counting. In the meantime, Gloria Morris from Float 60. I have 4 locations in the Chicagoland area. And between all the locations, I was doing it in my head, I think we have 8 different modalities.
And hey, everybody, it's Kim Hannon with Tsukino Float Center in Salt Cave in southern Indiana. I have 3 service modalities in our center. We have floating, halotherapy, and infrared therapy.
Awesome.
Kim, that's great. And so today we're telling everybody about our modalities because we have some very special guests with us today. We have Tammy and Terry, who are the owners of AquaSpa in Oswego, New York. And with them is also Terry and Katie, who are their co-managers today. And they have a beautiful facility. Anyone who is paying attention to the industry has probably seen some of their photos somewhere along the way. But absolutely beautiful facility with a whole bunch of services. So why don't we start with Terry and Katie? Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and what you offer in doing up there in Oswego, New York?
Of course. Hi, guys. My name's Katie. I'm one of the client relations managers here at the AquaSpa. And we have so many services, we're having trouble counting.
We're all back here counting on our fingers trying to figure out how many. Because we're like, wait, we want to get this right.
We just added our Thor, so we're like, what?
I forgot about that one, yeah.
So I believe we have about 9 services that we offer here.
Yes.
Yes,
Wow.
including our all-natural aesthetics department. Yeah. So we have float, cryo, infrared sauna, salt, massage chairs, oxygen bar, red light therapy, and an all-natural aesthetics department.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, Tammy,
Awesome. Go ahead,
Sorry,
Joe.
I was just curious. You have a lot of modalities. Was that the intention from the beginning? Did you start with this big vision, or did you start with one thing that led to another to another? How did you go about choosing what you did? And
Yes, you hit it on the head with the last option. You know, one thing just organically led to another. Terry and I floated as a couple. It was a Christmas gift, and we were so incredibly blown away by the profound experience that we both had. I have lupus, so, you know, we were always just kind of looking for those all-natural things. Terry's an athlete, so, you know, just those challenges that come with that. And the float was amazing, and you know, we kept going thinking, is the magic going to wear off? And it just never did. The next thing you know, we were just talking about the apprenticeship that we found online and, you know, just going down rabbit holes with research and visiting other float centers. And, you know, I think it really kind of came together once the location became apparent to us. You know, this particular building was kind of the catalyst for the growth that, you know, just organically happened. It was right on the water. It was a dear friend of ours that showed us the location. It was 6,500 square feet, and we were just going to be a little float center initially. So, you know, the more we talked about it, we thought, hey, are we taking a piece of this? Are we taking half of this? Are we going to go for it? And the one thing we realized is that a lot of float centers, they have more than one modality to support the effort of, you know, the business. And so, you know, obviously most places we'd go, there were salt, float, some had a cryo, some had a sauna, and we kind of just went like that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, that's how it started. Really, the space kind of dictated, wow, okay, we got 6,500 square feet. I mean, are we just a float center? Well, I mean, that's a lot of float tanks and 6,500 square feet. And it's like, well, wait a second. Why don't we just, I mean, wellness is at the top of our mind. What other services and therapies complement float? And it just naturally evolved. So honestly, it was not the plan. We did not have this grand vision. We seriously were like, hey, let's just get a little building, put up a couple float tanks. This is going to be awesome. And it was like, wait a second. So, yeah, here we are.
That's incredible. And congratulations on your location.
Thank you.
I'd like a quick answer on this, and I'd like to go around the horn. If you could name the one modality that you say we shouldn't have done, is there one? And which one is it?
I'll start. No, there is. Yeah, we love them all.
Yeah.
Good answer.
No,
Yeah.
I would say no as well.
Katie,
Can't argue with that.
Okay.
Terry, what about you?
No, I'm
Come on, Terry.
come on, which one don't you like cleaning
on,
up,
somebody.
or which one do you? There's got to be something.
Well, some definitely require more
I
effort
would say
than
the
others.
salt because you have to clean it every time.
Yes.
Okay, so
What do you
Terry,
what do you find is the most challenging service to offer, and why?
That's a good question.
Go ahead,
that
guys.
is a really
It could
good
be
question.
floating because
Yeah.
we all know how hard that is.
I think in our area, it was all of them, because just in this area, we're kind of, you know, we have 4 nuclear power plants. We have a college, we have a hospital, and we have an aluminum plant that makes parts for Ford. Like, we got a bunch of people that work really hard, but we're kind of isolated up here. I mean, we do have Syracuse that has a few things, but a lot of people haven't experienced any of this stuff, so they really they just don't know what it is. I think that's the hardest thing. It's just,
The
I literally had a customer ask me if cryo was when they froze Walt Disney and they were going to bring him back to life one day.
We've heard that too.
So it's like just educating on all of them, really.
I will say, though, that the cryotherapy and the nitrogen tanks sort of are the bane of our existence from time to time. I think, an electric cryo in the future is really exciting to us, and that's certainly something that, we have our eye on. But if I can think of one that's just a pain right in the, it's that one.
But unfortunately, it's our favorite. So.
And people love it. So you can't get rid of it.
Of course.
But I know Terry mentioned the salt room, the cleaning and just keeping it, sanitary and all of those things. But, that goes for all of them, really. I think the saunas are probably the easiest to deal with. The oxygen bar, and that too was just a cherry on top. Initially, we were like, "Oh, these are pretty. They'll look good in the retail space," but people love them.
And they work,
and they do. They take away the migraines. They take away the tummy aches. They give that extra boost of energy on a cellular level. So we're very pleased with everything. I think probably the most challenging piece of this whole puzzle was our aesthetics department, because that we had a vision to be all natural, and everything that's out there is super not. Unless you're willing to work hard for it and you're willing to really dig deep, go down the rabbit holes, and find those things.
So what was it that made you decide to add that specific department? Because I have heard of a couple of locations that have that pairing, but not very many. So what was it that was so appealing to bring that into all of these other more physical and, perhaps mental services?
Yeah, honestly, the quick answer is, the skin is the largest organ of the body, and we're attending to it with the therapies that we have here, but why not attend to it in an all-natural way, in the ways that we can by adding aesthetics? So, we want to feel good, and we want to look good too. And how can we do that naturally?
What are some of the services that are included in that?
So we have cryoskin, which is a hot and cold therapy for fat reduction, skin tightening. We do microneedling. We have a cryo T elephant, which is more focused, isolated cryo.
Pain management.
And do some pain management with that. And we have organic facials. We do our Saluma red light. So that's basically it currently.
I really liked how Terry said one time that he can work out and work his body from the neck down, but as we get a little bit older, there's not a whole lot we can do from the neck up unless we're finding these all-natural things. And, I just think it's nice to have that in harmony with all of the other things that we're treating whole body, just treating whole body. Mm-hmm.
So with all of that said, what would you say, if I can ask, what are your top, let's say, 3 revenue generators? What are the people supporting? What do the people really like?
Well, Katie's done the reports, so
definitely float therapy is one of our most popular and profitable services that we offer, followed by cryoskin, which is doing really well. We have lots of regular clients who get the packages with that, and they're really loving that as well. And then I would say salt therapy. It's a little bit on the higher end price point of what we charge, so I think that's doing really well for us too. People like that for the northern weather and the colds and the allergies that we experience up here in northern New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so I have one follow-up. The cryoskin, for people who might be like me and not really know what that is that more where I've seen it at the float conference before, where it was like a box and then you sit down and it had a hose type of thing that you could do specific body parts?
It does have a wand.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yep, that's it.
You're
Okay.
absolutely right.
Yeah. I think I did
It's
it. Has
different. It's a little different, I think, than what you're thinking about, Drew. So cryoskin is a specific service that is targeting, cellulite, slimming, toning, trimming, where local cryo is what you're thinking of, where that's really targeting inflammation, pain relief, those sorts of things. And so one is a little bit more focused on the the cosmetic side and, body slimming and those sorts of things in a natural,
but we do facials with the cryo slimming as well, or the cryo skin. We do facials with that. But we do have both. We offer both localized cryotherapy and the cryo skin. Yeah, they look similar though.
And I think you were just about to say, Drew, you were talking about the mask. Right? At the conference, because like a couple of years ago, they had the mask there, and that's similar. Yep. I can't find that thing. I tried it at the conference, and I was like, this thing is awesome. But we use the Cryo T Elephant, which is the nitrogen handheld hose, which is a similar situation. Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe that company was CryoNext.
Was that what it was? Okay.
Yes,
I like that thing. It was cool.
Yeah.
I remember that.
We actually have that at Float 60, and we have the T Elephant too. So we have that at one of our locations. And Drew, I find that particular modality is a great intro to cryo, because it's very non-intimidating. It's very spot specific. You're not really undressing, right? And it just gives people a grasp on the concept. And then once they're kind of used to the nitrogen and how it works, then they get more brave, right?
Yes,
but it's so effective for injuries even.
Okay.
And then that mask company they have an electric cryo local machine. And so we have that at our Chesterton location.
Cool.
Interesting.
How do you like
for
that?
people out there and for people out there listening, the price point on that is a lot less than a full cryo chamber.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Especially because electric is a beautiful thing, right? I mean, we just don't have to worry about the nitrogen. But to answer, I think, I'm not sure, Katie, if that was you that asked the question. We love it. I mean, it's just not adopted for enough people yet. But the people who use it love it.
Right.
We love having it as an option. And we're very happy.
Good.
One of the things we keep doing is just really giving it away. We give away so many things. And, if somebody comes in and they come to do one thing, but they're talking about some other things that are going on, we say, hey, let me do this and this for you. My treat, really want you to understand it and experience it. And that, I find, is really, really working for us. People are just falling in love with things because they work. Same thing with the Thor. We just brought the Thor in, and so we spent one full weekend bringing our members in, complimentary, and all we asked for in exchange was to have their experience. Would you mind just doing a little survey, leaving us a testimonial? And man, that did well. That did awesome. Really well.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I remember I think when we were watching the apprenticeship, one of the gentlemen were talking about just being generous and really giving to the community, and that was an incredible way to not only educate but to connect. And that really is, if I would give one piece of advice to anyone opening a center, it's simply that. Just to,
That's great. So now my follow-up question is, is there a service that, just isn't that profitable that you maybe wouldn't do again, or was expensive compared to what you're selling for it?
Man.
I mean, again, I feel like, the only, I guess, some of the services are just more challenging than others as far as the type of maintenance required and preparing for the next client. I can't.
But people are booking everything. There's not something that people just, no one's booking it.
No, exactly. And because like the massage chairs, for example, and the oxygen bar, they are their own standalone modalities, but they're added on to a lot of things. We bundle them together, and it builds value, and that's what we really like about it. Because it's like it always works. So even if it's not booked, the oxygen bars aren't booked. Well, great. When they come out of the massage chair, let's go ahead and give them a free, oxygen bar. Let's throw that into the mix. So we like the way it builds value.
Awesome, and that's hard to track, right? It definitely, people are like, oh, that's awesome, and we'll talk about that, and maybe they wouldn't have done it right, when you have something new that someone's never done, there is a price point where they say, yeah, I would try it for what, $5, $10, and then $15. No, I wouldn't try it. I don't even know what it is, right? So having those free, or adding it to something that maybe otherwise they wouldn't have done that oxygen bar on their own is a great idea. So I like how you guys do that. That's great.
I have a question on how you do it, because, when I have a couple of modalities that I bring in, I'm excited about them, but to actually get your team on board, I'd like to understand, number one, how many people do you have? How many work a shift? And, how are they kind of compensated to manage all of those recommendations?
Yeah, so Katie, talk a little bit about, the perks and how many people we have and how the shifts go. Katie handles all the scheduling.
Yes, so we are up to 13 on our staff right now, and for the experience that we have, we like to keep a single wellness ambassador with a guest through their experience with us, so they're taking that customer under their wing and guiding them through the services, and we just try to take really good care of those employees so that they can take really good care of our guests through free modalities once per month, and then a really generous employee discount, 50% off anything that they would like. And Tammy and Terry are super generous with giving us those services when they see we're not feeling well, getting a massage chair after your shift. They love doing that for us.
I think it really helps when, a lot of the bulk of our business really is people coming in and doing packages. We get a lot of people that come in, like our ultimate package is literally everything that we have. And it really kind of helps. It honestly helps us sometimes, because we have so many people moving around the spa that if I can park, a guest at the oxygen bar for just 10 minutes, just so I can prep a room for them, or, get the somebody else out of a room, it really kind of helps buy us a little time as well. So it kind of works itself into the mix sometimes.
So I'm curious, I have two questions on that. If people are doing the ultimate package, number one, the easy question is, how long does that take them to complete? How long are they going to be there at your
4.5
spa?
hours. 4.5, 5 hours if we stop for tea in between some of the modalities.
And number two, have you ever, I don't know if it's an official thing, but I've talked to a lot of people before about kind of a rebound effect where, especially for folks who aren't used to self-care or who are dealing with chronic pain issues or chronic stress, that sometimes doing a lot of self-care at once and a lot of healing at once can actually lead to exhaustion, maybe more severe pain, or some kind of negative side effects. So I'm curious, have you ever had anybody who's experienced that after doing that ultimate package?
I've never heard of anyone afterwards. I mean, we really try and set it up so that everybody, when they do go through all the services, it's in a way that makes sense. Like, we don't take them right from cryo and throw them into the sauna. Yes, there is hot cold therapy, but not with a cryo machine. That's with a cold bath. So the way we set it up and structure it is that we're doing some of the more taxing things, spread out, so that they're not, we usually start them in sauna to get them relaxed, put them in float so they can get a shower after the sauna. We'll save the cryo till the end because, that's going to wake them up so they can drive home because they're so relaxed. We kind of try to plan that all out so that we can, do it in a way that it's not shocking and a lot of, it's not taxing on the body.
And there's a lot of education that happens too. They get an orientation with everything if they're brand new. And we do talk about those things. Having lupus, I can talk a whole great deal about my experience. And, sometimes I'll come out of a float when I'm in more pain than when I went in. And that's just, there's a reason for all of that, and it kind of depends on what you're taking in there. But also, we spend a lot of time in between services, getting tea, having conversations. We don't treat people like a number. We spend time, and that was the vision from the very beginning. That wellness ambassador experience. And not everybody comes in and does everything all at once, but they do gravitate to the things that they like coming out of that experience, and then that's kind of when we start to, I guess, tailor their next visits or their wellness journey from there forward.
So how many people do you have on staff at once during a shift in order to offer that kind of personalized service?
Depending on the day. I mean, we usually try and have, even on a slow day, there's at least 3 of us on staff. Could be as many as 5 or even 6. I mean, we're getting back into our busy season again, so it'll probably change into 6 or maybe even 7 people, depending.
Yep.
Just because there's a lot to clean, and there's that laundry.
But I will say, Kim, I just want to give these guys so much appreciation, because as we grow through the process, there are days when we do only have 3 or 4 people, and we've gotten to the point where we're so efficient. Terry's figured out so many things back of house, Katie front of house, Flo, that we really can, we can function with less people. We just choose not to most of the time.
And we've done it with 2 people.
We've done it with 2. And, the other thing is Terry and I, I'm here a lot. Terry's here a lot. We're coming in. We're kind of picking up the slack. We're talking to people. I'm sitting in the whisper room with people. So we're able to kind of help that flow stay comfortable for everybody.
I'm curious, what is the largest number of people that you've had at once, as far as guests on, all in the building at the same time receiving services?
No.
Bridal party?
We've had more than that.
What about the lacrosse team?
Lacrosse team.
Oh, yeah, we did lacrosse team in college. There was like 40 kids.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They were just all standing in a line around the whole hallway. It was fun.
We've had a bridal party of 20.
Bridal parties.
But honestly, I mean, we've had days where everything is booked up. And, I mean, that's 5 float rooms and 4 massage chairs, 3 infrared saunas, the salt room. We've had probably, at one time, could be 40 people in here at a time.
Wow.
That's super exciting. So tell us the secret of getting the word out about your concept. And how long have you been open?
So November 15th will be 2 years.
Okay.
What I will say is engaging the community from the time you start to build, actually prior to the time you start to build. I mean, we put our Instagram up in 2018. With COVID, we really didn't start for another,
Yeah, we shot for March of 2020, but...
Yeah,
that worked.
Yeah, but, the thing is that we engaged the community all throughout that, and when we put the first hole in the first wall with the sledgehammer, they were there with us. We lived constantly. When they put our float tanks together, when they put all the equipment together, we time-lapsed. Terry made sure that he set things up so that we could capture and document everything, whether it was at 7 a.m. or 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And we still do. We probably live daily, most days. We also post on our social media 3 times a day, and our plan is, educate, engage, and it's rarely sales. It's generally education and just inspiration, things of that nature. But we've done it consistently. And
who's actually doing that? Is that your team, or do you have
these 2?
Primarily these 2. Yeah, Katie and Tammy. They're the powerhouse marketing team.
Yeah, we have a plan. We definitely. We've learned a lot over the first year, so the second year, we're looking at reports and seeing which promotions worked and, which sales were good, and do they like BOGO or do they like percentages off, and
we come up with just interesting and different things. Our community gift of wellness program that we came up with. Basically, we asked the community to nominate businesses or organizations. And, we put them in a hat, and we pull one every month, and we give everybody that works there, depending on the size. I mean, the hospital's got, like, thousands of employees.
Up to 25 people is where we did it this year.
We just show up with a bunch of vouchers, and they can come in and do any complimentary service they want, and people started to get really excited about that and kind of... and it's cool because it's people nominating people they care about. Yeah. And a lot of these places that have won it haven't been here, and they're like, oh, I've heard about you, I've wanted to come in, but life or whatever.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah. So.
And the video was shot professionally, and it starred Mr. Fistic. So
don't watch it. It's terrible.
If you care to check that out, it's on YouTube, and we're really proud of things like that because, again, it's super intimate with our community, and this community right here has embraced us in such a way we just can't even put it into words. Sometimes we feel so very blessed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Tammy, when you were doing that, I think I remember following you. You were like me when you started. You had short hair when you started,
yes,
right?
Sir.
Yes, sir. This is what getting into wellness does to you, right?
Yeah, you know what? This is called health. This is the sanctuary. When I had short hair, it wasn't for fashion. It was because lupus took it from me. I had a flare that was so terrible I didn't think I'd come back from it, and Terry can attest to that. And I had 3 fingers worth of no hair up here in the front. And I've been doing all the modalities, and I've been taking good care of myself. And it's taken me quite a while, but this is what wellness does if it's done well. You know, so thank you for that.
That's awesome,
Drew.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't realize that, so I apologize.
No, thank you.
That's great.
Oh, she rocked the short hair.
Yeah, she did. It looks awesome. Really. I mean, from my standpoint, not knowing why you had it.
Yeah, no, I love that.
You did style it.
Yes, I love that you and I are back though with our long dreads, right? It's a beautiful thing.
Team long hair.
So what would you all say if you had any advice to give to someone who was looking at having, say, 6 or more services? What would you say would be like the top 1 or 2 things that you would recommend to them to either think about or to implement or anything at all?
Air traffic control.
Yeah.
Air traffic
that's
control.
The biggest thing. Like every morning we have a morning meeting with the staff, and we stand in front of the computer and we look and say, okay, you know, this person's coming in for this, and this. You're really good at that, so you pick them up. And you know, we kind of obviously there's going to be walk-ins and last-minute bookings, but for the most part, we've got our entire schedule kind of nailed down before we start the day, and I think that really helps us.
Mm-hmm. And I would say education on our end, you know, just constant education and utilizing the services and really becoming one with all the things that you're offering to the community so that you know it inside and out, you know, and again, just the flow is so important. But I think that's, you know, my top 2 for sure. We say it all the time to the ambassadors. There's always something to learn. There's always something to learn from, you know, studies and articles, but there's always something also to learn from other float centers, from, you know, friends and families and people who are struggling with things, because they do, although we're not doctors, they come in and they're looking for that consultation, that support, and you really do need to know what the heck you're talking about. We can't wing it here. We can't. We'll hurt people. So I would say education and definitely air traffic control.
Yeah. Patience is a good one.
Patience, yeah. And having the best equipment, having the best supplies. And as we've gone through these 2 years, I think Terry can really attest to, you know, we've tried things that didn't work. We've found things that work amazing and make cleaning a tank like butter, you know, but there's just, you have to have an open mind, and you have to be willing to fail, and you have to be
willing to pivot,
and you have to be willing to pivot. Pivot is our absolute favorite word, and we're very good at it, and I am sure you guys are as well, because man, you've been doing it a while.
And I'm curious that you just brought up a really great point, Tammy, about, you know, communication. Really, how are you communicating with your team? I know you have your, you know, daily morning meeting, but if you are pivoting and you are looking at things and being kind of flexible with all of that, how do you communicate that to the whole team? Having 13 team members is
yeah. There's a few ways.
So we have a crew
Yeah.
chat where we post everything. We have a group crew chat with every single employee. Then we have an aesthetics room group chat on crew. We have our own manager's Facebook Messenger that we constantly update. And then we have in the computer system in Google Docs, we also have our management communication sheet. So if I'm here one day and something comes up or something happens that I need them to know and I'm not going to see them until the next day or the day after, I can put it right on there. And wherever they are, if they check their Google Docs, they can see. We update that, quite a bit.
Yeah. We have project spreadsheets.
We have
each
managers
individual
meetings. We have staff
managers
meetings.
Staff meetings.
Yep.
So we're it's an incredible family here. We're talking all the time, all of us. I mean, even when it's not business related,
We're sending messages at 2 a.m.
2 a.m. I'll have someone say, how are you feeling, honey? Are you doing good? We're just always connected, and I think that is incredibly important to the success of all of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
There's nothing I can't send to these guys at any given time where I won't hear back and I won't get an answer. I mean, unless they're really just
out cold.
Which none of us sleep anyway, so.
Do you have any relatives in Chicago you can send my way?
I can say to you, Gloria, I don't know how we've gotten this blessed, but we have found the best humans in Oswego. Okay, and quite possibly the world. I love these guys so much, and they take really good care of us. And that's something we just try to really communicate in our vision, is that we're here to take care of each other first.
And Tammy always talks about how it happened organically. Like, I used to run a brewery. She worked at a furniture store. She had a theater company. He makes body jewelry. Like, none of us were in the same circles, or, we knew a few of the same people, but it all kind of just came together, by the stars, basically.
Well, you experience people in other businesses. Terry's a great example. And all while we were musing over this business, Terry and I would go and have meetings in the brewery, or I would go and just muse with my notes, and Terry would come over and he'd be a certain way every single time, and I'd say, man, that's a great human being. And I told him later I was never going to approach him until he approached me and said how unhappy he was. And once he did that, I was like, well, if you want to do something amazing, talk to me.
And I jumped. Yes.
I love it.
And we couldn't do it without these guys. These guys are the backbone.
Nice.
Amazing.
Wow, that is awesome.
This inspiring.
Has been great. Yeah, very inspiring.
Really is. For so many
great
reasons.
to hear that there's so many options out there, and it sounds like if you do your research, and at one point I wanted to jump in, but I missed the timing of it, Tammy. You had said, you reached out to other float centers, so not to put you on the spot, but would you be open to people reaching out to you who might be considering adding these services? It sounds like you're friendly to the community.
I had a few
That's
people.
Great.
I went to Float Conference just for the pool and spa certification, so I was there for the first day when nobody was there. But I had a lot of people in the class I was talking to Roy about what we were doing here. By the end of it, a bunch of them would come over and ask me all these questions, and I'm like, oh, what? So, no.
Yeah.
We'll talk.
That's great.
Yeah, anyone.
Yeah.
And we've had a couple reach out, casually. But, there were all the centers that we looked up to and still look up to that we pay attention to. And, it's just flattering to be asked, but you know how it goes. I mean, imitation is like the best flattery. We all just kind of inspire each other, Yes.
Yeah, and I remember reaching out to people being nervous, thinking, are they gonna help me? And getting help and welcomed with open arms. So I always make time to speak with people who want to talk.
Yes, I wanna second that, Drew, because I'll tell you what, in theater it was always competitive, and you could not get along, let alone inspire and help each other. It just wasn't a thing. And in the body jewelry industry and the float industry, we have found that there just aren't more open and accommodating and inspiring and loving and caring people. So we're very blessed in that because Terry's been in business for 30 plus years, going to the conferences, visiting the shops, and these people are so like-minded and so in love with each other and want each other to succeed, which, I remember Greg Griffin, I reached out to him way back in the very beginning, and he sent me files and pictures, and he would talk to me about anything, and I'll never forget that, and of course, Graham and Ashcon, my goodness.
Yeah, they did Zoom meetings with us.
They're great. Oh, yeah, way back.
Yeah. So when we were shut down during COVID, we had to keep going. So we brought in vendors. We brought in other float center owners. Graham and Ashcon came one Sunday. It was every Sunday we would Zoom so we could keep training, because what else were we going to do?
That's amazing.
Right?
What a great thing. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fantastic.
We didn't do this.
Leverage those resources.
Yes, we didn't do it alone, Gloria. We didn't do it alone. We did it with the village, man.
Yeah,
it's the best village.
So, we understand. We've all been through it. So this has been a wonderful conversation and very enlightening into your business. And we had spoken once previously, but I'm sure there are a lot of other people like me who have been following you, and it will be interesting for them to hear how things have been going and how you're doing. And so, is there any last words you want to leave here, Tammy, Terry, Katie?
Or if you want to plug any other business, like your body jewelry, take it away. Take it away.
This is your opportunity. The floor is yours.
This is your chance.
Oh, I would just say stay tuned. We have big plans, and we want to make this particular spot the wellness destination. IV therapy is just about to be launched next, and we have some real passion for wellness retreat, Airbnb, so people can come and they can stay, or even, God forbid, we are just
broaching the subject of what are they going to eat if they stay here?
Yeah, so the cafe.
So it's like,
just open a cafe.
Yeah, no problem.
Yes,
of course. True entrepreneurs there. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes.
That's great. Well, we're very, very excited, and it could be a destination for a future float conference. Who knows?
Hey, we would love that.
How big do you want to go is the question.
Listen,
getting an island.
We don't do anything halfway, so bring it on.
I love it.
You guys, Lake Ontario will love you.
Oh my gosh. Hey, there's been stranger places, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place. Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you guys and having us on your podcast.
Yes.
And we're just excited and grateful to be part of the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let us know if you guys need anything. We were happy to sponsor a bit of the conference this year. If there's anything else that you guys need, please reach out. If it's in our power, we certainly will do what we can.
We appreciate that, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.